Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast, where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry because I can, because you want to listen to it, and I enjoy it mostly. So thank you for coming and watching. But today we got to plug today's sponsor. Today's show is always sponsored by the fabulous people at Go Fast Don't Suck. So go over and check out gofastdon'tsuck.net. Go get your dry fire targets. Go get your match banners, your match jerseys, your memes for your entertainment, because the internet is full of entertaining memes. So go check out gofastdon'tsuck.net. Tell them Manny sent you and move on with your day. Without further ado, let's today's guest. We have Mr. Gianni Giordano on the show today. How are you doing, Gianni?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for sitting down mid-August, right after Area 3, if anyone cares
Yep.
when these happen. So Johnny, I got the privilege and honor of meeting you back a couple weeks at Area 5 in person, finally.
Yep.
And
Finally.
and you're an adult now, so no one can make fun of you for being a child. So now you're all being whooped by an 18-year-old adult, so feel bad a little bit. Well, that can feel less bad, right? Because you are an adult.
Exactly.
You don't get that junior category anymore.
No, not anymore. Just in IPSC. I got till I'm 21 in IPSC.
Oh, there we go. So Gianni, for the people who live on a rock, who are you?
Well, I am Gianni Giordano. I live in northern Nevada. I've been shooting USPSA for probably about 10 years now, maybe 9. But I live on a farm. We have about 3,000 acres. We farm alfalfa. My dad got me into shooting when I was probably about 9. My very first USPSA match was at 10, and everything from there I was hooked. I do have a range in my backyard, so it makes it a lot easier for me to train. But yeah, that's pretty much where it all started.
Okay, I don't know, what is alfalfa used for?
So all the dairies use it to feed their cows.
Oh, okay. So you guys are fairly
So
busy
milk,
then.
dairy, yes, yep. We sell
Now,
all the hay down to the big California dairies.
oh, okay. So you're helping the California cheese. Like, wasn't that a
Yep.
big couple of years ago? There was commercials about that California milk or California cheese. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, I'm not just
Some
thinking
of
about.
our no. Some of our hay goes to cheese, and then other hay goes to straight dairy.
Okay, cool. So, how busy does that keep you most of the time?
Um, Probably around. We're really slammed from July to October, but we have 4 cuttings a year. So basically, from July to October, we'll be pretty much slammed. We'll get a few weeks break in between, but then once we're finished up with 4th, we go from throughout the winter just servicing stuff, and it's not quite as hectic as summertime.
Right. So if you say your busy times all July through October, when do you actually have to start preparing like the fields?
A few months. So there's really not much preparation. It just depends on if we take out fields the year prior. We'll rotate a few fields a year. So we'll just be doing that, and we clean the fields with like a harrow just to kind of take the top off a little bit, and that's about it. Mainly just getting the equipment ready, honestly.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was kind of that extensive for farming, that kind of stuff. So that's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
cool. So you said you started about 9 years ago. Your dad took you to your first USPSA match. What were you shooting back then 9 years ago?
I think I started with I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I started with a Glock 9. And then I went to a MMP 40. I used that for several years in limited. I pretty much always shot limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Eddie Gun EMG when I was about 13, I think. So I went to a 2011, and then I've stuck with it ever since.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Are you the youngest shooter to join the SB team though?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
That's pretty cool. That's kind of cool because you've always had this talent. Like, you just sprout out of nowhere. Where did that like? When did it finally? At what age point did you like figure it and make it click, and then started crushing these adults?
15, I think. 15. I placed seventh at nationals. That was the year that I really started taking it a lot more seriously. And I've always gone to the MGM junior camps for years, and I got to meet people like Max, Eddie, Travis Tomasi, people like that. And that's kind of where I learned most of my basis stuff. But yeah, I'd say 15 is when I really started taking it seriously.
That's pretty cool. So, always. So, what kind of drew you to limited though?
I've always just shot it. It's
Hmm.
always been something that I've been comfortable with. And once I saw that I was good at it, I just wanted to stick to it. And the goal was to eventually win nationals with limited.
Right. So
So
has
that's
yeah,
been the goal basically.
right to win nationals. Okay. Now, are you on the limited and world shoot team or not yet?
I am not because I didn't place the year prior to seventh. I didn't place top 16 because
Hmm.
I think I was like 14 at the time. So it wouldn't have. I didn't make the actual team. But the next world shoot, I will probably make the team.
There you go. That'll be exciting. That'll be exciting because I bet that's probably a goal of yours too, is to win the world shoot.
Yeah, that'd be that'd be pretty cool.
Hmm. It would be. I kind of just hope everything solidifies and we can get back to a normal rotation on the world shoot. And
Exactly. That was the other issue is we've been trying to have a world shoot for several years now, so it's kind of delayed things.
yeah, I can imagine that. So other than those MGM shooter camps and probably being trained and coached by particular shooters, have you taken like any open enrollment classes?
I have not. Um, I I would say 2 years ago when I was working with Mel and Bill Drummond, that's where I learned. That's where I really took like my movement and other things to the next level. Was a few years ago with them, but that's honestly the only training that I've had.
Okay. So and then it's pretty much just been developing on you shooting matches and who you've been shooting
Yep,
with, kind of,
pretty
and
much. Yeah, and it's hard for me, especially where I live, because I don't have very many locals. Like I have to drive 4.5 hour round trip to go to the local, so it's kind of hard to have a lot of locals. My locals are pretty much major matches.
yeah. Now,
So
what was it? St. George probably be the closest place for you for a local.
for a local, no, I'm in Northern Nevada, so I have locals, Fallon, Reno, and then Boise, where Area One was, is pretty much the same distance. So I'll do some locals up there as well.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Like, as long as if you've got to make that drive already, it's might as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, but
It's always good to hurt those old guys with like Eric, right?
yes, yes.
So, we know you shoot a 40 2011. Um, how many of how many guns do you actually have at the current time in rotation?
Like of SVs
Hmm.
or
Oh yeah.
so SVs, I have 7 right
Now, do they just kind of keep rotating? Like this one's the match gun today, or there's it like one's your dedicated match gun, a backup gun, your practice gun?
now. I have a major match gun. Currently, I'm running a new design. So that one's been my practice and my major match gun for now, until I have another one coming. Um, but I used to basically have a practice gun and then dedicated match gun, and always use the match gun, keep low round count on them, and keep the springs fresh.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But so is so most of the guns have green on them, I'm assuming,
Every single one of them does have a green trigger except one, but there's really nothing like crazy green.
right? Will the next one be super crazy green, or is it just okay to be like an accent color?
It's okay to be an accent color. I don't. Brandon is the one that kind of makes his. I don't really do any input. He surprises me with guns, so but there usually always is a little bit of green in them.
Gotcha. Fair enough, because green's the best color. If you didn't know it, you're all wrong. If you didn't know it,
Yes. Yep.
green is the best color. So, yeah. Currently you're shooting limited, and you're assassinating all these top guys. Because I just watched you shoot Area 5, and then you just got back from Area 3 last couple days ago. Um, what keeps you competitive in that? You know, you're so much younger than all these other guys, but it just seems like you're stacking them up too.
I just want to prove myself. So it just keeps me going. I want to chase those guys because I look up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have been shooting longer than I've been alive. So I mean, I've kept that in mind. So they have so much more experience than I do. That's something that I lack is experience. So I just have found other ways to try and compete with them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So when you say experience, just life experience, because you've shot plenty of matches at this point. Probably not as many as them still, but you're not. It's not like you're
Yeah,
shooting
it's just
once a year.
right. I would say like their mental game is way better than mine. They've been doing it for so long. They know they know what to expect. They know how to keep consistent. And consistency is the biggest thing that I'm working on. You don't have to win any stages at nationals. I mean, you can be top 5 on each stage. You'll win. I mean, it's how consistent you can be throughout an entire match, and that's what those guys are really good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that consistency factor is definitely a huge aspect, I'd say. As we saw at Area 5, right?
Yes.
Everyone gave up the
Yes.
ghost somewhere.
Yep.
But you did not
Yep.
start on the best stage at all. I wish you guys
No,
could
it
have got
was
a different
bad.
bad one to
It
start the
was
day.
bad. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That was rough.
I guess I'd rather start there than end there, because you could either have a fantastic match and kill your match, or you can have to start digging out of the hole.
Yeah, I was pretty much digging out of the hole the entire time
Yeah.
off that first stage.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough first stage. If any of you, well,
Yeah.
you all should know, if you've listened to the podcast, you've already listened to the Area 5 recap about stage 13. So if you've
Yes.
not, go look up the internet. You'll find it. People post it. Um, I don't know. It was a good standard stage. I felt tested true shooting skill.
Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree with the I don't disagree with the stage. It was just a rough first one.
Oh yeah, I've been like,
And
can I?
it gave me something to practice for sure because I've honestly never seen that before. So it was a wake up call to go and practice it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, since you live so far away, how do you prepare for a match?
I try in my practices. I try to do 80 to 100 rounds a day. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do high round count practices. I just a little bit every single day. But leading up to a match, I don't know, I'll try to do a couple hundred a day, maybe a week out, just to try and get caught up on everything. It's hard, just depends on farming and every other thing. The business, I mean, all the machine, and it's hard to fit everything in. So I just make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, do you still, even getting those 50 to 100 rounds a day, roughly, do you still go in dry fire almost every day?
I try to. Sometimes I will miss out on that. It's for
Mm-hmm.
me, dry firing, I can literally just walk out there and go shoot. So if I do dry fire, it's mainly just, doing reloading and stuff like that. But
Right. So you'll pretty much dry fire out on the range then, if need be.
yeah, pretty much. Yep. Yep. I've
Gotcha.
got a little deck on my reloading room, and I just go out there and dry fire.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's pretty cool. Now, as everyone knows, you are part owner in the business of what do we call it? RPG2 now? Is that what we're calling this?
Yeah, so basically we kind of came up with that joint name. It's still Range Panda is what all the products are sold through. But I'm the G2 side, so we just kind of merged them together. And the products that we do together, we just named it RPG2.
Mm-hmm. You guys do a lot of different stuff. You coming out with new crap all the time because it just makes me want to spend more money. Because
Yeah,
I want to think your newest product I think that you're launching is what, that magnet for the
yeah,
case feed.
yeah, yeah. We've got that. We have a 650 live shoot for primers that's coming out. We have a universal 1050 case stock coming out, and we got one more. What's the other one? Got the magnet, and then another part for a Mark 7. We just been trying to shooting matches and stuff. It's hard to do new products because we're trying to catch up on old products that are selling. So it gets kind of hectic.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Pretty much your first collab project was what? Making his.
And that's the SRO cover was the
Oh,
very first thing that we did together.
oh, really? Oh, because you
Yeah.
started. Okay.
So I started 3D printing several years before I bought a milling machine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of where it started. Was the 3D printing.
Gotcha. But I remember you took his 3D printed spent primer shoot, and threw that out the window,
Yep.
and made the CNC one, which is so much better because they don't break.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we're looking at redesigning that one too, making it a little fancier. That was the very first part that we did for milling.
Mm-hmm.
Was that, and then the quick connects was the second one.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I love those. My press is decked out in Range Panda stuff. It's almost essential. It's just almost essential. Just like every
Do you
dot.
have a tool head? You have a tool head?
No, I don't. That's the one thing I don't have. I need to get one. I need to order myself one for my 9 major tool head.
Yeah, once you have a tool head set up, it's a pain to ever switch it around.
Exactly. It's like you pretty much just got to buy all the dies again and be like, well, now I've got 2.
Yep.
But that's not the end of the world. But anyway, so how did you and Eric even actually get connected in the first place?
I would shoot some matches that he was there because he doesn't live too far from me. So I think the very first match we shot, I think it was like an Idaho State match or something. And I remember knowing him that he did a lot of 3D printing. So I asked him what a good printer was to get into because I just wanted to tinker around with it basically. And one thing led to another, and we were pretty much collabing on the SRO cover. And it kind of just took off from there. But it's probably been 4 or 5 years since then, maybe. Trying to think when that was. But it's had to have been 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah. Now, did your parents travel with you to almost every major match you go to?
So some of the ones that are kind of far away, it just depends on what everyone's doing at the moment. But like nationals, my mom always goes. My dad tries to make it to a couple, but he's pretty busy usually with the farm. He has to stay back and take care of everything.
So
we go off.
So Eric was your chaperone then while you were out here?
Yep. That's kind of scary, but yes.
But you're the adult, right? Is that how that works?
I'm the adult. He's the child. Yes.
Well, I mean, he just sticks you in and be like, oh, you can't drink, so you can drive.
Yep. Yeah.
But, so, when you're designing new or coming up with new ideas for these products, do you typically see like either a product that needs to be revamped from someone else's idea, or is it just kind of pop out of nowhere? Like, I think this is a problem, so I'm going to try to fix it.
Both. Like the tool heads, obviously, we wanted to come up with something that was a little different. So we came up with putting the pins in the tool head, just a little idea. And people like the customization of things like the stands. Like the stands were something that Eric kind of did previously with the 3D printed stuff. And I wanted to kind of elaborate on that and try it with the milling machine. So some of the products we come up with ourselves. If there is an issue. Others we try to improve on.
Mm-hmm. And your stands are fantastic. I haven't used mine in a while though. It's kind of getting dusty, waiting on a gun to show up. So,
gotcha.
It's waiting there for that gun to show up. So.
Yep. Yeah, the stands are kind of taking off. They've been a pretty cool product to work with.
Well, yeah, and then you just got those new milled ones where they're different colors, but you've got the raised platform essentially, or the grooves in them.
The serrations in them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing all kinds of stuff with that.
So is Eric's last gun like the really one that kind of inspired that?
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like the same. Those cuts are called the 172 serrations from Infinity. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a similar idea that we used for that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like those. Mine's I almost wanted a second one, but I can't buy another one until I have another gun coming. So it's one of
Yeah,
those
right.
it's one of those things. It's like you can only have as many stands as you have open guns for. But yeah, which is really cool is because they'll pretty much work on any double stack gun, and then you make a single stack uh post as
Yeah,
well.
so we need to do some more testing on other guns. Like the 1911 works great. I basically designed it for 2011, 1911, but the 2011 will fit like Glocks and other similar size double stack mags. But I think like CZs are the only ones that don't fit on any of them. So we're playing with that to make those fit.
Is it because a CZ mag is wider than a 2011 mag?
I don't know what it is. It's something to do with front and back, not necessarily the width.
Oh.
So it's getting caught at a weird angle. So we got to change that.
So pretty much after you get you steal one of Eric's Shadow 2s, you can be like, okay, we can get this figured out now.
Yes, yeah. He needs to send it to me for a week, and I'll make sure we test it.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. It's just sitting in the box. It's probably just sitting in a safe somewhere, being like, "Look at you, you poor gun. I don't know why I
Yep.
even bought you."
Yes.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see where more products go and line up at because it's pretty innovative what you guys are doing. I mean, I don't think there's a USPSA shooter or competition shooter in general who doesn't have at least one of your products at home or in their range bag.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see, especially when we go especially over on the East Coast, and you get to see all the products kind of running around. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's especially really cool, like those optic covers, and then he has those remove before pew pew tags. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everyone can't lose them, or if you do lose them, they're super obvious that you lost it.
yes, yes. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how many you bought a new open gun then? Or
Yep. I'm having an open gun built. Hopefully it'll be done after nationals. So
awesome.
yeah, I'm
You
excited.
excited?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited. It's a different world essentially than shooting carry optics. I've got to be so more particular. You got to be so more meticulous on your ammunition and
Yeah.
what you're loading with, and there's a lot more. It seems like that can go wrong. I keep getting told every other day about something else to think about, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, there's a little bit to it. Mainly on
and
the loading side.
yeah. Well, and if you think I don't even think about the cost of a gun being terrible. It's everything else after the gun. Oh, you got to go pretty much have a roll sizer. You got to process your brass better. You got to buy once fired brass, and it's like all the extra shit that it's like shit. I could have bought another open gun for all the other money I spent.
Oh yeah, yep. Once you get set up, what's it chambered in?
That's gonna be a 9 major gun.
My major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you get set up though, it'll be pretty good.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. It shouldn't be too much longer. I don't bother my smith too bad because if I do it, it'll take longer. So
Yeah, just let it let it be.
yeah, you just
Yeah.
make sure. Are we still on timeline? Yep. Okay, fair enough. Moving on.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm excited. So I did ask for some listener questions um before we recorded this. So let me pull
Uh-huh.
those up and then we can see what people ask because there's only two I think that weren't warranted of asking. Come on. Come on, internet. Do me a favor and do as I ask. Okay, here we go. So why are you still when are you gonna actually kind of make that move to open yourself? Because you're still shooting a lot of limited.
The goal is to win nationals. If I can do that, then I'll move to open. If not, I don't really know. I really want to move to open and start playing with it a lot more. But I'm still kind of addicted to limited at the moment.
Right. Now, do you see a major difference in times between an open run and a limited run on a similar stage?
Not not at this point. The something that I see where I really excel is the farther shots. I can make it way faster with an open gun than I can a limited gun. Other than that, they're about the same.
Yeah. And yeah, and your eyes are still good. You're still young. You don't have nothing issues. You don't have to wear corrective lenses at all. So I will say you do have that going for you. You're still young.
Yes, yes.
But so so you're gonna go to open eventually after you hopefully win nationals. Are you gonna then hang up limited guns forever, or are you gonna still play around in limited just a little bit?
No, I think there'll always be like for world shoot, I will probably shoot limited. They're not going to get hung up forever. I think limited will always have a spot.
Right. So are your limited guns USPSA limited guns, and then you have IPSC standard guns, or are your
They're
limited
both
guns
legal. They're both all my guns are legal in IPSC.
Okay,
They're all
fair enough.
built for IPSC. Yep. So the only thing that isn't is on my guns. My magwells are bigger for USPSA, but I have IPSC magwells that I'll just pop the magwell off, and then they'll be legal.
Gotcha. That was my next question, because I'm assuming I think the only difference is it has to fit the box and it has to have the
fit
right
the
mag.
box. Yep. The width doesn't matter. It's just the length of the gun has to fit inside.
Gotcha. Fair enough. That's pretty cool. Now, I'm excited for that. That'd be really cool. So I did get another question. Do you drink hot sauce to get those super spicy splits?
No.
No.
I think I'm young, so I think that's why I have the fast splits.
Yeah. Because you can. What's your fastest splits that you know of?
I think I've done several sub 10s before. 10s. Yeah.
That's pretty
in a match. I'm not honestly sure. It just depends on the stage, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And you never know, and then there's always that time dilation. You never really think about how fast that split actually is, and you're just shooting the stage. And so yeah, you just came back from Area 3 and Area 5. To be completely honest, which match did you prefer?
Probably Area 5.
Oh, okay.
This year, Area 3 it wasn't like past Area 3 is where we have brown poppers, painted brown, pool noodle stages and car stages. It was all IPSC, which is cool. It was just basically a lot simpler. And I like 32 round stages. There was not any 32 round stages there. I think the highest was a 30 rounder. And then there was a lot of short courses. So I like field courses, but that's just me.
Right, because you can excel at because you're younger, you've got more stamina, you can do all that. So
yes,
use all that to your advantage.
Yeah.
But it seems like from looking at your percentage, it looked like you had a little bit better percentage at Area 3 than you did at Area 5, just by a little bit. But it was
So Area 3, I kept struggling with steel. I could not hit a piece of steel to save my life.
But you could hit mini poppers at 25 plus yards 2 weeks prior.
Exactly. That's what was weird. I don't know what I was doing at Area 3. I stayed pretty consistent as far as points go. I had a lot of deltas, which was weird. I think because everything was classics. And I do practice classics, but not that much. So that's definitely something that I need to work on, because all of my deltas constantly were on the tops of the classic. They were always right there. So, but other than that, I just had a lot of steel misses. So my time was lacking.
Gotcha.
At Area 3. So
that's fair enough. Now, yeah, it was interesting enough. I shot a major match same weekend as Area 3, but they had minis out there and they looked so big because they actually had the heads on them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, that's really big. Is that a full size popper? And you get up to reset it, and it's like, that was a mini? What?
Yes. Yeah, Area 5 was fun. I enjoyed Area 5. It was challenging, but it was good.
Yeah, it definitely hurt a lot of people's feelings. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I look at it as if you ever go to World Shoot, it's going to be like that. So might as well prepare for it now.
Yeah. Now, what'd you think
Yeah.
of the day and a half format?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't too
Um,
much in one day.
no, I wouldn't say so. I mean, yeah, here and there, but I would prefer it over 3 days. Uh,
Right.
I think a area match should be, I think, 2 days. Um, I don't mind if we have to shoot all day on the first day. I like to get done early on the last day, so that worked out.
Yeah. Well, you guys didn't end up leaving until what, Monday morning anyway?
Yeah, we left it Monday morning, so I usually always leave on a Monday. Try not to
Yeah.
rush around too much.
Yeah, because if you do have to try to plan and rush, that's the time that the match is going to fall behind. You're going to take forever. You're going to get stuck in traffic going to the airport. It's like
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
not worth the hassle and the headache. And then you get troubles at TSA because that's always how it works, right? It just
Oh
compounds.
yeah, it compounds. Yeah, Area 5, we actually barely made it on the plane. We gave ourselves plenty of buffer, but going through Detroit, it was so packed, and Eric didn't have it TSA pre-check, so I was at the gate waiting for him, and he had to be on the plane. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left. But it was funny because he was running through the airport, and he was the last person. We were the last two on the plane, so
Well,
it was rough.
yeah. So you're saying everyone's got to go get a TSA pre-check, right?
Yes, pretty much. But if everybody gets it, then it's not going to be as fast.
So every
So
competitive shooter needs TSA pre-check.
yeah, that'll work.
That'll work. So then you all, yeah.
It saved me a lot. Sometimes at bigger airports, it might be a little bit long, but I 9 times out of 10 it's going to be way better.
Now, did you have any issues of getting your guns checked or going through TSA with that stuff?
No, I've never had any issues. Knock on wood with that.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue that I've had is sometimes forgetting a bullet in my bag and them stopping, and
Yeah.
that's probably it. But usually that's when I try to rush out of the match, get on a plane, and go home. And sometimes, like the one time, I forgot my chrono bag, so it was like a little. They were looking at it very concerned, like why would there be a few little rounds than one taken apart? Like,
Oh yeah.
so it was confusing to
You
them.
just tell them, throw that away. Just come on, get me through
Yep,
here. Just throw that away.
yep, throw it away.
The $4 that
But
it is, it's not gonna matter.
yeah, I think I was at Dragon's Cup and I forgot I got a brand new knife, and I always carry a knife. So we were going through, and I was literally right before the scanner, and I forgot the pocket knife. so so I took it out and I threw it in my mom's purse, and we just played dumb. And luckily, my grandparents were still kind of near the airport, so we ran it back. They got it, and then they shipped it back to me. But that would have been an expensive throwaway.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would hate to have to do that. We get a brand new knife or brand new anything, and it just has to
Yep.
get pitched.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be some box of TSA that's got all these knives that have, like, somebody who actually knows what like value of knives, then be like, well, I'll take
Oh, I'm
that one.
sure. I'm sure they keep that stuff. I don't doubt it.
I mean, I think I've even watched YouTube videos of people like the boxes of knives that TSA has collected, and then some people will resell them again and be like, oh, look, I made money off of this thing, but
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, that would suck. I'm lucky, knock on wood, that's never happened to me. When you travel with your guns, do you put those air tags in your box?
I have a Gigo. It's called a Gigo. It's just a GPS tracker. But Eric has been trying the air tags, and they've been working pretty good. He runs both, and he actually canceled the GPS. It takes too long. Like when you land, it takes about a half hour for it to update,
Hmm.
and by then you're probably already through your next connection or something. But I always have a GPS or something in the bags.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you an Android or are you an Apple user?
Apple.
Okay, all right. I mean, there are some people who are diehard Android fans who just can't give it up. So
Yeah, don't understand them, but
Yeah. So how many more majors do you have left besides nationals?
let's see. I have Utah State. I have North Texas Open. I have a Nevada State match that I'm going to try to go to. And then I've got nationals, and then area 2 after nationals.
Okay. So you still got plenty on your schedule.
Yeah.
So when you do you try to build up like product beforehand, or like make sure your machines are going to be optimized while you're gone, or do you just shut them down while you're gone?
So the printers can run while I'm gone. The milling machine, no. I try to catch up as much as I can on products before I leave somewhere. Me and Eric will usually be pretty prepared. And Desiree's wife, or I'm sorry, Eric's wife, Desiree, she will ship products out to customers while if we're both gone.
Oh,
so
okay.
it works out good.
Okay, so does Eric usually do typically most of the fulfillment from his location then?
So yeah, Eric handles all of the customers, all of the shipping. I just make the stuff and ship it to him. So he
Gotcha.
handles all that.
Right. I think except what? Except the basic, except your stands, right? Because I think you ship
Yeah, the
those.
stands. Yeah, the stands I do ship here because of the customization. So I just do them here and then ship them out.
Right. So this is gonna land what, end of the month? I think this one will air. When, since that's the date this is gonna come out, any idea when the next batch of stands are gonna come out or be available?
They'll be about anodized probably a month out and then
Okay.
ready to roll. I currently have like red and blue. I haven't really pushed the stands just yet again, and because I'm just trying to get caught up on everything. But black is a very popular color, and I'm out of that, so I'm just gonna stock up on all that, and then we'll push the stands again in about another month or so.
Gotcha. Now, also another product you work really hard on is the thumb rests, the convex and the hammerhead.
Yes, yep, we do a lot of those as well.
Now, do
We
you think?
run. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
We run really big batches of those, so I don't really mess with them too much.
And do you have is your scrap rate at all high, or is it that your machines are dialed in where you're not losing tools and parts?
The waste on a part is pretty much hardly anything. Every single piece of stock is made for that part.
Okay.
So there's hardly any waste. And if it is waste, it all goes into a huge bin and it gets recycled.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. Now, do you know how many, or at least the percentage of your thumb rests are on open guns or limited guns nowadays?
I don't really know that answer. We've sold, I don't know how many we've sold. We sold definitely in the hundreds. They're not quite as popular as, like, right now. It's kind of, there's really no thumb rest out there that's like a masked. Everybody has one. Like, I think it's really split up right now between ours, TiVo. The Go guns are kind of going out of style. I don't really see those much anymore. I can't remember the other one, but there's a few other ones. It's kind of split right now.
Right. I would say I think the not the TiVo, but the Go gun seems to be really good for people with short thumbs because it's so far back, it seems like. But I mean,
yeah.
I didn't look at I haven't looked at geometries of which thumb rest is better for which application.
Yeah, there's definitely what we learned trying to design something that everybody likes is you're not going to ever make a thumb rest that everyone will like. So it's kind of hard. Some people love them and some people prefer other thumb rests over them.
Right. Well, and something you do have over your competition is you do make a left-handed. Is it just the hammerhead, or do you make the convex and hammerhead in left?
We are doing just the hammerhead and lefties. I mean, we can do a convex, but those are kind of going like a convex should only be used on an open gun that has a really big scope mount that your thumb can go against. Otherwise, you just get a hammerhead.
Gotcha. So yeah, you want something that's got a beefy like a Chile mount or like a Phoenix Trinity frame
Yeah,
mount.
something that provides something on the side of your thumb.
Mm-hmm. Because
But with
because
the
what most SV mounts, what they're very small, right? They're just like a couple holes.
Yeah, so the SVs are a different style hole pattern.
Mm-hmm.
They skip a hole, so there's only three located on those.
Mm-hmm.
So like our two hole design, you only have one adjustment. So we do have a custom 4-hole hammerhead
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be kind of being tested, but
Yeah,
we'll see on that.
gotcha. Fair enough. I have a convex because I didn't feel like waiting, but it's okay because
So
my frame mount's gonna is a big like it's a Chile mount, so I'll be fine. So,
yeah, good.
mhm. But yeah,
Limited guns, I've seen a couple hammerheads, but not too many
yeah.
on the limited gun side.
Now, as a high end limited shooter, do you think it's necessary or is it a wash on having a thumb rest on your limited gun?
So this is going to go against because we make thumb rests, but I do not like thumb rests on limited gun.
Mhm.
I will not run one. Um, I don't know if it's because I've gotten used to it over the years, but I do not think it is required for a limited gun.
Eh,
A thumb rest is more of an index point than anything. It shouldn't be something that's controlling recoil.
right.
It should
I,
just be an index point.
And I will say, I guess it's nice because it does prop the gun up without it being propped on a limited
Yep,
gun, so you can get under it just probably a little bit quicker on those random pickup start stages that you've got.
yep, that is a definite benefit.
But we only see what maybe one or two at any major match,
Yeah, pretty much.
so you're not really giving up the ghost.
No, not really. I like to keep my thumb pretty much parallel with the slide.
Hmm.
So I've never ran one. I can't remember the company that makes it, but SV uses some of them. It goes into the slide stop, and it's flat, so your thumb basically lays on top of it. Those are pretty nice.
Oh,
But
you're talking about the Shooting Sports Innovations Nitro Flip?
yes, yes, that one.
Yeah, where it takes out your pin, and yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen some people use those, but I
it's
mean,
more of a feel and index point. It's not really gonna shouldn't be using it to control recoil
right?
theoretically.
Yeah, that's true. It shouldn't be used as recoil. I mean, if you are, I mean, some people probably at some point make it work, right? Where they're mitigating
Yes.
recoil through their thumb, but
Yeah.
because not everybody's the same, right? Because that's definitely
Yeah. Everybody has their own little way of doing it.
right.
So.
Because Jerry Barnhart back in the day could have a technique that works for him but doesn't work for you, or XYZ.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not always
Like
universal.
like Eric Ruffel's technique. The only other person that I know uses it is Aaron Evans, where you put your finger over the trigger guard on the front.
Oh, I didn't
You
notice
let
that. I guess I didn't notice
yes.
that when I saw him at Area 5. The only
Yep.
other person from that I know who does that is Lena Michelik.
Oh, Mitchell. Yeah.
Hmm. Yep, that'd be the only other
Yep.
person I can think of who does that.
Yeah. Very few, but some people like it. So.
Right, yeah. If you like it and it works for you, do it. But yeah. So as you get older into the sport or older in life, are you gonna take over the farm, or are you gonna try to go and do machining kind of as your full-time career?
In a perfect world, I want to do both. So the farm's not going anywhere for a while, so it's going to give me some time to kind of get the machine side going,
Hmm.
and then take it from there.
Gotcha. That'll be cool.
So
Well, pretty much what the tractors drive themselves, pretty much, right?
yeah, pretty much. It's more of how many like a lot of employees are going to be required for the farm. Um, Simply, I can't be 15 places at once, so
Hmm.
that's a definite problem for the future. But
Yeah.
like the machine shop, I would love to have it all robotic, essentially. So
Right. Where you just pretty much have to check on it maybe every once in a while and load
yeah,
parts.
I do that now. I try to get my machine to where I change parts maybe every hour. So eventually I'll get robots and they will do it all for me.
There you go. Now, how many milling machines do you have currently?
I just have one right now. I
Any hopes to
will,
get a second one?
yeah, maybe next year if I land a certain contract that might be coming up, then yes, I will get another one.
That's pretty
But
cool.
for now, I'll just have one.
Now, that's a Haas you've got right now, right?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I was very fortunate to get a tour of a manufacturer facility. And it was pretty cool. How many machines were just all working, and you just had guys chilling over here, just chilling over here. I'm like, "Sup?" Just
Yep.
digging off, be like, "Oh, time to go stand up for a minute."
Yep.
So
It's pretty cool to see.
it is pretty cool when the machines are just humming away making parts. That's definitely the coolest thing, I think. Um, do you have who've been, other than like your mom and your dad, who've been some of the biggest supporters for you while you've been in the sport?
Probably all my Idaho friends, Eric, Michael Leary, Dan Hawkins. Those guys have been. I met them probably my very first Idaho match. I think I was probably 11. It was my very first Area One, and I met a lot of the guys there. And now we're pretty much family, and they've supported me for years.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's pretty cool. It's definitely nice how you can meet people in this sport who you click with and you just become friends and it just goes from there. So those people you
oh
can
yeah,
call at 2 a.m. Hey, I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere. Can you come help me
yep,
out?
yep. The
First,
the
yeah.
whole shooting thing, like it's the actual shooting's fun, but it's great to go and visit people, and it's a great social sport for sure.
Oh yeah, especially when you got to spend 3 or 4 days in a location and you're like, well, what are we gonna do other than shoot for 8 hours, right?
Yep, yep,
I'm terrible. I
yeah.
plan things via food, which is terrible because then you have problems with eating, but it's always like, what are we doing? I don't care. I'm thinking about dinner right now. That's all I'm thinking about. Where
Yep,
we're going to
yep.
eat, which is kind of cool
And
too.
oh yeah, because you get to have big dinners with everyone, and it's fun.
Yeah, and you go out and you
Yeah.
have a good time, and then you always
Oh yeah,
razzing each other. Or it's always the worst part is the people you want to talk to are at the other end of the table when you have like a big group, and you're like, oh shit, I sat at the
yep,
wrong spot.
yep, yep.
So,
Mhm.
where would you like to see, RPG2 or G2, whatever your side of the business? Where would you like to see that in the next, say, 5 years?
Um, a really good goal would be I wanna branch out into areas like aerospace, um, and like the medical field. That would be a really big goal of mine. Then always handle the shooting sports as well. So
Hmm.
I would like to do a lot of different areas. I don't really care what I make, right? I just want to make stuff,
Right, yeah,
and I
it's
really
fun.
I enjoy the aerospace stuff. It's pretty cool.
Right, and I'm assuming that takes a lot of knowledge in CAD.
Oh yeah,
Did you have to teach yourself, or did you get some schooling on how to operate in CAD?
everything is pretty much self-taught. I did go to a school. It was kind of funny. I went to an in-person school for about a month in Reno for a CAD. It was actually a Torchmate, so it was a plasma cutter school.
Hmm.
And that's where I learned all of my base CAD skills was there. And then everything else has been self-taught.
Hmm. Trial and error
So
and
pretty much,
burning up stuff, or
yep, breaking stuff. I
hmm.
have a very big bin of broken end mills.
Yeah.
So
Now, how many have you lost any 3D printers through this whole endeavor?
nope, I have a machine that has probably 9,000 hours on it, 9 or 10,000 hours so far, and I mean, little maintenance stuff like fans and stuff, but other than that, they run forever.
Yeah. And those machines constantly printing the same parts, or do you have to swap the program over to a different thing?
It's on an operating system that goes through my computer, so all the machines communicate with each other, so I can just select each one what the part or cover is going to be. I handle all of the optic covers. I make all of those, and then Eric handles all of the harder plastics and other types of printing stuff. I
Right.
only print the covers.
So the covers are in coats, right? Or PETG?
No, they are in TPU.
Oh, they're in TPU now. Okay. That's kind of
Yep.
cool. Fun fact, I work in the plastics industry, so I'm a little bit of a plastics nerd. So it's kind of cool. Especially all the different varieties of like plastics that you'd think like a hard nylon, right, can be used in like a plastics application or in a fabrics application. So it's kind of cool to see what plastic can really do, even though it destroys the environment.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different types of plastics out there.
Yeah. Now, what is so if you make all the optic covers, which one are you printing the most of?
SROs are still the probably number one cover right now.
Now, you'd say that'd be mostly on carry optics guns, I'm assuming.
Probably, yeah. I can't like we have a slide cut version and a normal version. I would say we probably sell more of the normal version. So I would say SROs are probably the most popular, and then it goes to all the Hollowson lineup. All of those combined are a very big seller. The Romeos sell a little bit, but not quite as much as the SROs.
Mm-hmm. So the old standby RTS2 is the one at the bottom, right?
Pretty much, yeah. We don't sell much of those. We actually sell more of the old style Seymours than the new style Seymours.
You like this, like you sell more slide
The
rides?
slide ride, yes. Yep.
What? All right.
Yes. That's
That
fun.
that's retro. I mean, I only know a couple people who still shoot with those, and usually they're on the other mount. They're on the sideways mount. So
Yeah.
so they're super
Yeah.
low.
We still sell quite a bit of those,
Mm-hmm.
mainly through Shooters Connection and places like that sell those lines up. We don't really like through our website. We probably sell more SRO style stuff.
Right. So do you end up selling? Do you make more product to sell on your site or to your venues?
Probably on our site, honestly. Well, it's hard to say. Ben Stoger Pro Shop and Shooters Connection are very big customers. Um, so we do quite a bit, but we do those in huge bulk orders. So we're mainly just catching up on our own stuff, our own inventory.
Right. And do you pretty much give them, and when you run those big orders, you doing all the colors or you doing just a couple colors for them?
They make their order on what they want, and then we just fulfill it.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool because it's nice because you're finally in those places where you guys were in Shooters Connection first, weren't you?
Yep. Shooters Connection was our first venue guy, and then we went to Ben Stoger as well. So those are our two right now.
Yeah, it's like if you need it for the competition space, pretty much it's there. If you don't need it, they don't have it. So it's kind of cool because pretty much your whole lineup's there then.
Yeah, pretty much. Some of the new products not yet, but several of the. I don't think we sell any tool heads to Shooters Connection. I think all that's to Ben Stoker Pro Shop.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. It's nice and it's seeing the businesses growing and producing, and you're being a name in the shooting community because of making products. Like the locator pins were such a big thing. Like even on the 1050, the Dylan ones kind of suck. So
Yeah.
you go buy a Range Panda pin locator pin. They're so much easier to grab. I don't know why Dylan didn't think of that for all their machines, but shame on them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes. Good for us though.
Right, exactly. And it allows companies like, Unique Tech and inline fabrication, Range Panda, all to thrive in this space of customization of the press.
Yep. Improvements and etc.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are you loading on a Dylan or do you load on a Mark 7?
I load primarily on a Mark 7.
An older style, or did you get the new Apex 10 yet?
No, I do not have an Apex. I have one of the first serial number revolution or no evolutions, I think. Yeah. It was long. It's been probably 6 years on that press, and I have had no issues with it.
So you're almost like John Leaguer because he's got like what, number 2?
Yeah, I think mine was like 30 or something, somewhere in there.
That's still pretty cool though, being having that legacy machine that's still running and still churning,
Yep.
and you're able to do things with, which is kind of cool. So I do want to get near the end of the show, which is not a problem, but we also got these awesome questions at the end. Um, what is one thing that people can either start doing or stop doing to get better at shooting?
Um, I would probably say working on finding something that you're weak at and literally just practicing that all the time. If you can make your practices as hard as possible, when you go to a match, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is easy." That should be the goal in practice: is make it as hard as possible. Do set out a tux at 30 yards and just practice nothing but that. And when you go to a match and there's a tux at 10 yards, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is easy," and you're confident in it. That's the biggest thing is being confident in your ability when you go to a match.
Right. That's absolutely great advice. Honestly, it's because then where I guess where you earn your trophies in practice and then you just go collect it at the match, right?
Yep, yep. When that timer goes off, you're going to revert back to what you've practiced. You might not shoot 100% of your ability, but you're always going to revert back to how you do it practice. So it's very important that all of that is done in practice.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree with you on that one. Couldn't say it better myself. And I'm not that good, so I mean, at least it comes from a Grand Master. Are you a Grand Master in Open too, or just in Limited?
Nope, just Limited.
Are you close in Open, or have you not had really time to kind of play with?
I've not had time. I don't even know what I'm classified in Open at. I think it's like 90% maybe.
Oh, okay. So you're still a true master in Open. So
Yeah.
All right. So so as we got to the last couple things, I think we got to get to the time where we pay the bills on the show. So go ahead, Gianni, and plug your sponsors, your partners, whoever you got, so we can give them some love too.
Infinity Firearms, Barry's Manufacturing, Starline, Hunters HD Gold. We've got Dominant Defense, Range Panda, of course, and Hawk Tech Arms.
Hawk Tech, they're a gun shop, aren't they?
Yep, in Idaho.
Yep. Now, Dominate, best belts on the market. So they're freaking fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're a listener, we've almost got a code. I've bugged Jason enough to get us a listener code, so we're not having to use the Paracast code anymore. So we're golden there. But no, I love Jason. Jason's a good dude. It doesn't matter what time I call him. I always seem to be on the phone for like 2+ hours. So that's always fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is a great dude, and it's awesome. But Gianni, I do want to thank you for coming on. It's been a blast. It was fun. I learned a lot about, how you've kind of grown up in the sport and learned about the machining side, and that's kind of interesting to me. So thank you, brother, for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, brother. I mean, it's fun. We'll have to do it again. Now that I've had Hammer on, I've had you on. Now Eric.
Yep, Eric.
You're next.
Yeah.
But I just got to get him to quit making excuses and we'll nail it down. But anyway, brother, thank you for coming on. Listeners, also, thank you for listening and watching every episode of Manny Talks Shooting. Till next time, get out and do the things, and I will see you on the next one.